This is what we call a Sephardic story. The Sephardim had these beautiful stories that they tell. And here's one of them. Once there was a man that was very depressed, very miserable. No matter what, he was rich. He had a lot of good qualities. He was healthy, but he was miserable. He was always depressed. He went to doctors, he went to psychiatrists, he went to this. And he didn't know what to do. So he went to a big rabbi. And the rabbi said, if you want to, let's see, how do I do this over here? 1 second. 1 second. Oh, there it was. 1 second, like this. Oh, so he went to a big rabbi, and the rabbi said, tell me, my friend, do you give charity? He said, no, what charity? What am I going to give charity for? Let the poor people take care of themselves. I mean, I believe in God. God made these people poor. Who am I? I'm supposed to give them charity. So the person said, listen, as long as you keep all the money to yourself, you're going to be miserable. You have to give charity. If you give charity, you'll see that you'll start to feel better. So the man goes out and says, well, that's really bum advice. I don't want to give anything I have to anybody. But on the other hand, I feel miserable all the time. And the rabbi said that that's what I should do. I'll give a little bit. I'll give a little bit to somebody. But he says, but on the other hand, listen, giving charity is only to somebody who really needs it. If the person doesn't really need it, then it's just giving my money away to somebody who just doesn't deserve it. It's just helping robbers. So he makes up in his mind, I'm going to give money to somebody who has nothing, doesn't even have any hope. A person that has hope is not truly poor. I'll find somebody that doesn't have any hope, and that person I'll give money. So he goes around and he asks poor people, he says, want a dime? Have you got any hope in life? The person, oh yeah, hope. Of course I've got hope. Everyone he went to, he found somebody that had hope. And as he went more and more, he thought to himself, listen, if I find somebody that doesn't have any hope, I'll give him $100, $1,000, $10,000. I'll give $100,000. If I just find somebody that doesn't have any hope, I have to get rid of this depression. So he finally goes to somebody. The guy is just torn clothes and everything like that. He says, I'm willing to give you charity, but tell me, do you still have hope in life? He says, for sure I have hope. What am I going to do? He walks down the street and he hears somebody moaning. Moaning. He looks over, it's in the garbage pile. And there's a person like Job. You ever read the book of Job? Here's a guy sitting on the garbage pile. And he's filthy and he smells terribly. He's got boils and all these festering wounds all over him. And he's moaning like Job, the book of Job. And he's moaning and he's crying. And he goes over to him. And it's very hard for him to even get close to the person. It's just that he says, tell me, my friend, do you have any hope in life? He thinks this is it. No, I found the man. He said, what? Hope? Of course I have hope. God is great. God will help me. I have hope, but look at how I am now. Why am I suffering? So the man says, what am I going to do? I got to get rid of this money. All of a sudden, he passes by a graveyard. And he said, that's it. That's it. He becomes so desperate. He becomes crazy. He says, a grave. The dead people have no hope. The dead people have no hope. Said, if this guy sitting on the garbage pile and the festering wounds and is abandoned by everybody, he has hope. The only place where people don't have any hope is dead people. They don't have any hope. So he goes into the grave. He says, I'll try it. Let's see. Goes into the graveyard in the middle of the night, brings a shovel, digs a hole in one of the graves, buries $100,000, wraps it all up, puts it in a box, $100,000, puts it there, goes, and he feels better. He actually feels better. I said, wow, it worked. It worked. I gave away my money. Okay, maybe the dead person can't appreciate it, but I gave it away. That's what he said. I have to give charity. So I gave it, and it worked. I feel better. All of a sudden, he starts to feel positive. He starts to hear the birds chirping. He says good morning to people. Oh, he feels so good. But there is a wheel of fortune in the world. And it happens to be that he starts to lose money in his business. And he loses money here and he loses money there and he loses money there, until after about a half of a year, he's a pauper. The man actually he didn't realize that it was happening so quickly. But it seems that there were people that he owed money for a long time and they collected the money and they foreclosed on this and they foreclosed on that. They empty out his bank account and the guy's got nothing. He's got nothing whatsoever. So he says, wow, he's kicked out of his house and everything like that. His wife, his children, they leave. She has to go live somewhere. So she lives with her mother, lives. So he says, what am I going to do? I haven't got anything anymore. He says, okay, maybe not. I'm not depressed like I was before, but I'm miserable. I'm cold. I'm hungry. On this. Suddenly thinks, well, one second. I buried that money in the graveyard. I'll go and I'll dig it up. I'll dig up the money. The money did its job. I gave my charity. And now I'm the poor person. I need it. So sure enough, he goes in the middle of the night and he takes a lantern with a big bag to put the money in and a shovel. And he goes to the place in quiet in the middle of the night and he starts to dig. And he's digging and he's digging. And he comes almost get to the place where the money is. All of a sudden he hears from behind him, put up your hands. He says, what? Put up your hands. Hold your hands. Don't do it. Don't try any tricks. Drop that shovel. Drop everything. Put up your hands. Put your hands behind your back. He says, what is this? What's going on? This is the police. You're robbing the dead. Grave robbers. What a disgusting thing. Don't move. Put your hands behind your back. Puts his hands behind. He ties them up. He turns around. There's a big policeman standing there with a big club, a big this. He takes him into jail. Puts him in jail. In the morning, he's standing in front of the judge, all shivering. And the policeman says, Your Honor, I caught this disgusting person digging up a grave. He was a grave robber. He probably wanted to steal the gold from people's teeth. Sometimes people go with jewelry on them. He wanted to steal from the dead. Your Honor, throw the book at him. The judge says, tell me, my friend, have you got anything to say to your defense? He said, listen, Your Honor, I was just digging up money that I buried there. I said, what? You buried money in a graveyard? He said, yeah, I buried. Why would you do a crazy thing like that? He said, because I felt really depressed. He tells him the whole story. I felt really depressed. I wanted to give a rabbi told me I had to give away money. And I went to a person sitting I said, I'm only going to give to somebody who has no hope. And I found a person sitting on a big pile of dung in a big the junkyard and miserable, screaming. And I said, do you have any hope? He says, yes, I have hope. I said, this person has hope. What am I going to do? All of a sudden, I got an idea to bury the money in a grave. That's what I do. Actually, there's another version. I didn't finish the story. There's another version that the person sitting on the dung pile, he was the one. He said the only ones that don't have any hope are the dead people. That's another. This doesn't really change the story much. So I went and I dug a hole and I buried it in a grave. Now I'm just coming to dig. The policeman says, Your Honor, do you believe that? Stupid story. Who buries money in a graveyard? Who buries money? He buries $100,000 in a grave. No one does such a stupid thing like that. Who would do that? They're giving away his money because he wants to get rid of the person. The judge says, let him go. He's innocent. He says, Your Honor, but I caught him doing that. I caught him this. He says, let him go. You'll see if you go to that grave and you dig, you'll see that the money is really there. Really there. I said, how can you believe this person? How can you believe him? At least put him in jail until I go and see if they're there. He says, the judge looks at the man. He says, my friend, do you recognize me? He says, recognize you, Your Honor. I don't recognize you. Just 1 minute. Maybe I remember. He said, I was the one that was sitting on the dung pile with all the wounds festering. And I said that I didn't give up hope. Only the dead give up hope. I didn't give up hope. And see, I was right. I got healed, and afterwards, I was elevated back to my own post. I used to be a judge, and now I'm a judge. I didn't give up hope. It's a sign you should never, ever give up hope. And you're lucky that I was the one that became your judge. If not, another person would have put you in jail, and all of your money would have been stolen. The policeman would have gone back and stole your money or whatever. Anyway, story with a moral. The moral is never give up hope. As we just finished learning in the Kuti Torah, God likes to help you, likes to take people out of Egypt. And for sure, that's the way it's going to be now. God will take us out of all of our problems, all of our difficulties, and defeat all of our enemies. He'll do to them what he did to Sodom and Amorah and all of those who help them as well. I just want to say one little thing I thought about, and maybe I'll make a video about this, but in World War II, the whole world was quiet while the Germans were killing us. And they knew it. They knew it. They knew that we were, the whole world was quiet. Nobody said anything about it. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said that one of the things before Mashiach comes is that all the bad will be revealed. So in World War II, everyone just kept their anti-Semitism to themselves. It was now all the anti-Semites are out in the streets and they're screaming and yelling. It's not hidden anymore. People who are anti-Semites, they don't hide it like they used to hide it. Now they're screaming and they're yelling. Okay, they say it's anti-Israel, whatever. And so everything is becoming revealed in the world. All of the bad is revealed. And for sure, all the good will be revealed as soon as the bad is wiped out. Have a good day with Mashiach. Now, see you tomorrow morning at 8:15.